is Nefarious with Nefarious School of Mischief and Mayhem. Today I'm here to talk about the Moondance, but you might notice something a little different about this Moondance. This Moondance has a window, and in this window is a very cool lenticular card. And you're going to be able to do that. And your girl Nefarious is going to walk you through how to do this. So you'll have to be patient with me. This will be my very first Nefarious official video. So this is a very cool Moondance by Sincerely Jen's. So I highly recommend, if you don't have this pattern, go get this pattern. You know, Kim and Alex at K&A are dropping these things hot, hot, hot. So brand new, hot off the press, coming to you from the Nefarious School of Mischief and Mayhem.
So when we get our Moondance, one of the things I like to do is make sure everything's nice. We look at the window, we look at the cutout, and this is what I want you guys to look at, is see how nice this is. It all comes together. When you order from K&A, you're going to have this really nice layout. It's going to have everything. So this is what we got to cut out. We've got to cut all of this out nice and neat. Some people can just freehand this. I like to use a ruler. In this situation, I'm using a Mormino ruler. You want to make sure you're paying special attention, especially on this window. I only use the rotary color on the long sides. When I start working on the corners, I'm going to use a pair of snips just to make sure it's more precise and it's nice and clean. Here you're going to see we have all our Decaville, our vinyl, our card. If you're going to use a label, and we lay it all out nice. So now we're going to build the window. Here you just need the lenticular card, your clear vinyl, and some double-sided tape. I really just use that double-sided tape to keep the card from shifting around too much. You don't have to use it. I just like to do it to make things just a little bit easier for myself. And then I'll use clips to keep the vinyl from shifting around on me as well. Here I will use a little bit of parchment paper to also make things easier for myself. I'll baste at 1/8 of an inch just to close this up. And then I'll tie the knot and burn the thread shut. We're going to start attaching the window to the cover of the Moondance. So we'll have our Moondance cover, our lenticular now sealed in the clear vinyl, and some double-sided tape. And the idea here is that we want to be able to see the lenticular come through this hole. So I'll line this up nice here. See? Isn't that nice? Ooh, shiny. And we're going to have about a 3/8 inch top stitch. So I'll double check that here. Yep, that seems about right. Alright. And I'm going to take the double-sided tape and I'm going to line the top here so that I can keep it out of my seam allowance. With a 3/8 inch, I should be pretty good because I'm going to run that 1/8 inch tape around the top. I'm going to remove 2 strips. And I'm going to line this picture up with this hole and gently tap it. You're going to have probably a total of 1/4 inch of the picture on all sides hidden by the Moondance. And that will give you your 3/8 inch top stitch. And see, I'm going to pull the paper off here. Maybe. There we go. We pull the paper off, we can get that side down, get this paper off, there we go. Now we can lay this down flat, and it'll make it a lot easier for us to top stitch this at the printer. See, yep, double check myself here. That comes out to 3/8 inch top stitch. So we're going to be in really good shape here when we go to the sewing machine. So I think we're ready to start. So here we are sewing the cover and the card together. We're going to do the 3/8 sewing machine. As you can see, I don't really have a way to see the lines, which are usually my guidelines. So I'll use this little bitty ruler from Mormino to help guide me through what I'm doing here. A little bit of a cheat, but hey, it helps me do what I gotta do. and I highly recommend it. I also use a silver marking pen to keep me straight. This is a removable. I'll top stitch with a 3.5 millimeter stitch length all the way around this box, keeping my strings long so I can tie them behind, just like we're making a bag. I'll just tie these up real quick and then give these a little bit of a burn just so we can wrap this up. So as you can see, doing that 3/8 of an inch allowed us to completely miss going into that card and gives us a really pretty top stitch on the top. So now we're going to add our stabilizer, which is the Decoville Heavy. Measurements are in the pattern, so make sure you read those carefully. Now, I had a little bit of concern about how this was going to work, but I did just what we needed to do, and I had no issues. So attach the Decoville Heavy just like you would normally, and it will work like a charm. I did go a little slow on the front with the card, and I just did small pressure, so it didn't melt the clear vinyl, but it attaches just fine, as you can see. Now on the side that has the Decoville piece that's needed for the right hand panel, that's per measurement. That doesn't change, so make sure you're checking the specifications to get that, and go ahead and attach that. We'll take care of punching that in a little bit. I want to lay these all out, make sure this looks nice. So we've got our folder pocket, we've got our little business card pocket, and if you're going to use a label, which I am, I'm going to also see how this is going to look. I'm going to play around, figure out where I want it. Because it's kind of the same color as the portfolio pocket, I'm probably going to end up putting it on this newspaper card pocket, figure around, shuffle around, see where I like it the best. Yeah, this is going to work. I like this best. Doing this allows me to kind of visualize where I want to go and what I want to do. So I'm going to start with the right hand side first, and then I'm going to work on the left hand side, which will include the slicing of the notebook and punching the holes. So I'm going to get all my pieces, start with the right side, go to the left side, and then we'll sew it all together. So this is how we're going to go. So making the panels, I've got my double-sided tape, I've got my label, I've got my card pocket. I think I'm going to probably do some alcohol ink on these edges. You guys don't have to do it. A lot of people edge coat. I am going to do it this way. For when you attach your label, you're going to want to make this look very professional. So I use a little bit of double-sided tape to stick it to my card pocket, and then I'm going to leave my threads long so I can tie them in the back. So if I can get the sticker off, here we go. There we go. Now, since I am Nefarious, I don't always make things like dead center, so I'm going to off-center this a little bit. It's Harry Potter. Let's be a little fun here. Alright, yeah, that looks good. Like I said, leave your strings long. I have my top stitch at 3.5 millimeters. I'm going to tie my strings at the end here. Yeah, this is going to be good. So we're going to go nice and slow. Alright, so we've got that all closed up. So now we're going to attach this to the portfolio packet. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of double tape. I'm going to stick it here at the bottom. That way I can kind of try to keep it out of my needle. Because I don't really want to deal with a gummed up needle right now. Let's see. I also like to try to keep it an inch off the bottom. And it's also just a generic number, just so it's nice and level. So I'll go ahead and just stick my ruler here, 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 here. Alright, so after I get my ruler down, I'm going just to line this up randomly, sort of center-ish, whatever looks good here. Yeah, that looks close enough. And stick it on. Yeah, there we go. That looks nice. Yeah, here we go. Let's sew this on. Alright. Now you could do this a couple ways. You could tie the strings in the back, or you could backstitch. I am going to backstitch really good at the beginning and the end because I want to be able to keep some cards in this folder. So that's what I'm going to say here. Backstitch at the beginning and the end. 3.5 millimeter thread length all the way around. About 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Alright, we're finishing up our back stitch here. Cut my thread. Alright, now I'm going to trim off this extra thread here. And there's a little bit on the back. There we go. Let's get this little piece here. Possibly, maybe. Okay, yeah. Alright, I'm going to do a little extra here because I'm Nefarious and I'm extra. That looks great. Alright. Now, we are going to attach this to our panel. Alright, now there's a couple different ways. Some people can eyeball this, some people can be fancy dancy. How I want to do this. It's about 1/4 inch, right? I can use a little ruler. Nah, I think I'm going to get the big ruler out. Because I want to make sure I have 1/4 inch all the way down. I'll go ahead and stick my tape on. I do use a little bit of double-sided tape on just one side to keep it from moving. I'm going to break out my big ruler here. Here it is. I'll take it in about 3/8 of an inch. Up about 3/8, down in about 3/8. That looks good. And stick it to the ruler because that's what this is about. There we go. And gently trying to get this to stick down. So I only do one side with tape because I really don't want to do too much. I don't like gumming my needles. Stick this down really good. And we're good. Oh, well, no, I taped it to the ruler still. So again, make sure you backstitch at the beginning and the end, 3.5 millimeter stitch length, about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Just make sure that if they're using that pocket folio, they got a little extra reinforcement on those little bitty corners. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go nice and slow here, just to keep this nice and even. I like nice and even stitch lengths here. Alright, so now we're going to hole punch. I'm using a Mormino hole puncher. I'm going to use this as in the pattern again. So I'm going to go ahead and punch these holes out. It's really nice and handy, so if you guys don't have one, definitely recommend getting a hand hunt. I also have a cam snap, but if I need to do this on the go, this is really quick too. So then I'm going to take a rotary cutter and cut that out. And sometimes I can't get all the way across. I'll just take a real small pair of snips, which is what I'm going to do right now. Let me grab my snips. Alright, so we got that done. That looks good. Now we're going to put it all together. I like to lay this flat again and pin our corners together. That way I have an idea of where these are supposed to lay nice and flat. Or make sure you're putting them on the right sides. Okay, once we get our pins in, we also got to work on this middle. So a couple things that I do, I'll try eyeballing it at first. And if I'm not too happy with how that looks, then I'll find the center of the middle piece and do it that way. Now we're going to sew it together. I will start on the back with an 1/8 seam allowance, 3.5 millimeter thread length, and I will keep the threads long because I like to tie mine shut and burn the ends. Since my thread are two different colors, I've got white on top and black in the bobbin, I'm going to do this a little backwards and sew with the lenticular on top, and that way the white is coming through on the top and the bobbin thread is on the main side, and you can't really see it, and I like it this way. I think for the center binding I'll do it the opposite way, give it a little bit of contrast. Oh yeah, this looks really nice. So I'm going to tie this off, and then again keeping it at the 3.5 millimeter. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to go down and finish this off. We're going to tie this off, and then we are almost 99.9% finished with this. This is great. Let's get this tied off. For some reason, I am just tying slow today, guys. I am so sorry. Alright, finish snipping this, and then I'm going to give it a light boop, pat that down, and voila, fold this, and look at this. This looks so nice. I'm going to put a notebook in this. I know I've got one around here. It's not spooky, it's not Halloweeny, it's not Harry Potter, but I've got grid paper. It's going to look good, too. I can't wait. It's going to look so good. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. Shiny, shiny. This is so cool, guys. Thanks for sewing with me.
I hope everyone's enjoyed making the lenticular Moondance with me. This is definitely a really cool make with the window and Sirius Black. That is just really cool. There's still a lot we can do here. We could add some really cool Harry Potter paper, possibly edge coat it to give it a more professional finish. It's just a really cool thing. Don't forget to share your makes on K&A's Facebook page. Tag me in it. I want to see them. Also, subscribe below. Give me some comments and shout outs. I could always use a follower or a friend. I mean, I'm here talking to myself. So definitely give a shout out to Alex and Kim here. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot more designs coming because Alex can't help herself, and they are going to be amazing. So you saw it here. Can't wait to see what you guys make.